Hello, welcome to Storytime Read Along with me. The Incredible Peppa Pig Collection. 50 Peppa Storybooks. Every day we will read 2 Peppa Pig books. Which books shall we read today? Peppa Pig, the Ambulance, Nino, and Peppa Pig, the Museum. The Ambulance. When Dr. Brown Bear visits Peppa's playgroup to teach them about ambulances, nobody expects him to need a doctor. The Ambulance. Dr. Brown Bear is visiting Peppa's playgroup to show the children an ambulance. "Hello, Dr. Brown Bear," say the children. "Hello, children," says Dr. Brown Bear. "Does anybody know what this is called?" asks Dr. Brown Bear. "It's an ambulance," says Molly Mole. "And who can tell me what it's for?" asks Dr. Brown Bear. "Taking sick people to the hospital," says Peppa. "Can we hear the Nino sound, please?" asks Freddy Fox. "Yes," says Dr. Brown Bear, "but we normally use that only in a real emergency. Nino! Dr. Brown Bear, can you show us what you would do in a real emergency?" asks Madame Gazelle. "Yes," says Dr. Brown Bear. "I'll show you using this teddy." Dr. Brown Bear checks that the teddy is awake, asks the teddy his name, and asks him what happened. Then he bandages up his arm. "And because you have been such a brave bear, you get a sticker," says Dr. Brown Bear, giving the teddy a yellow smiley face sticker. "Wonderful," says Madame Gazelle. "Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear." "Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear," say the children. "You're welcome," says Dr. Brown Bear. "And remember, always look where you're going." Whoops! Oh dear, Dr. Brown Bear has tripped over a ball. "Dr. Brown Bear is rolling down the hill," cries Peppa. "He's rolled through a prickly bush," says Molly. "And he's hit a tree. Apples have fallen on his head," adds Zoe Zebra. "Oh," groans Dr. Brown Bear. "Oh my goodness," gasps Madame Gazelle. "Call an ambulance." "The ambulance is over here," says Peppa. "Quick, everyone into the ambulance," says Madame Gazelle. "Hooray!" shout the children as they run into the ambulance. The ambulance gets to the bottom of the hill. "Don't worry, Dr. Brown Bear," says Madame Gazelle. "We are here to make you better." "Thank you, but I don't need any help," says Dr. Brown Bear. The children check he is awake, ask him his name, and ask him what happened. "I tripped over that ball and fell down the hill," says Dr. Brown Bear. "That was a bit silly now, wasn't it?" says Susie Sheep. "Which bit is hurting?" asks Pedro Pony. "My arm, my leg, and here on my head," replies Dr. Brown Bear. Susie and Wendy Wolf bandage up Dr. Brown Bear. "Because you have been such a brave doctor, you get a sticker," says Madame Gazelle. "Hee hee." The children giggle. "Have a sticker, have a sticker." They all cover him with smiley face stickers. "Ah, ow, oh," cries Dr. Brown Bear. "Ha ha, ha ha." Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear for giving us such a wonderful demonstration of how the ambulance works, says Madame Gazelle. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, cheer the children. It was my pleasure, groans Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear loves ambulances. Everyone loves ambulances. Peppa Pig, the museum. Peppa and her family are visiting the museum. Inside are lots of old things from long ago. Which will be their favourite rooms? The museum. Peppa and her family are visiting the museum. Museums are full of interesting things that are very old, says Daddy Pig. Older than you? Asks Peppa. Daddy Pig chuckles. Yes, even older than me, he says. Hee hee. Peppa and George want to know what's inside. One room is full of things that belonged to kings and queens long ago, says Mummy Pig. And another room has a real dinosaur, says Daddy Pig. Now George is excited. Grrr! Inside the museum, they meet Miss Rabbit at the ticket booth. Mummy Pig asks Miss Rabbit for 4 tickets. George wiggles Mr. Dinosaur. Dinosaur, he cries. And 1 dinosaur, says Miss Rabbit. They go into the first room, which is full of things that belonged to kings and queens from long ago. Wow! Gasps Peppa, looking at all of the colourful clothes. But George just wants to go to the dinosaur room. Dinosaur! Shouts George. Mummy Pig spots something very shiny. Look, Peppa, this is a queen's golden crown, says Mummy Pig. Wow, says Peppa. If I were queen, I would eat as much cake as I wanted, says Peppa. She would be Queen Peppa with a sparkly dress and a crown with jewels and a big slice of chocolate cake. Peppa pretends she's a queen sitting on a throne. Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig and George all bow to Queen Peppa. Is there anything else you would care for, Your Royal Highness? Asks Mummy Pig. More cake, please, replies Peppa. It's lots of fun pretending. Next, they all go to the dinosaur room. I can't see a dinosaur, says Peppa. It must be very small. Daddy Pig explains that the dinosaur is very big. Peppa and George look up to find a huge skeleton. These are the bones of a real dinosaur, says Daddy Pig. George shakes Mr. Dinosaur at the skeleton and growls as loud as he can. Dinosaur! Shouts George. Grrr! George pretends to be a big dinosaur. He's a George-osaurus. Roar! Shouts George. Help! It's a dinosaur! Peppa laughs. It's fun to pretend. After looking around the museum, Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George go to the cafe. The dinosaur room was George's favourite room. Peppa loved the King's and Queen's room. It looks like Daddy Pig is in his favourite room, says Mummy Pig. The room with the cakes in. Hee hee, hee hee, hee hee. Tomorrow we will be reading Peppa Pig, Peppa's Treehouse, and Peppa Pig, Grandpa Pig to the rescue. See you tomorrow, friends. Bye.